Lots of things have been happening in the world of rollerblading recently. We've had major competitions, we've had numerous skate releases, we've had a little bit of rollerblading drama, we have had multiple new sections out, brilliant new sections, and we've also got a skate leak. So let's get into it. It looks like we're about to be seeing a new pro skate for Yuto Goto Roces. He was recently spotted in New York City wearing an as yet unreleased navy blue M12, which came with a navy blue kind of smoke effect plate. And there's also a photo floating around on social media of him and Marco Valera looking at some footage, which could be footage from his upcoming skate promo. The last time we had a full street section from Yuto Goto was for his last pro skate, which was filmed in Sydney by Carson Boyson and Dom West and featured this beautiful switch up. As well as this absolutely textbook flawless rail-to-rail transfer. Yuto's last two pro skates have been Fifth Elements. He had the kind of grey and green one, and then he had the one that was kind of bluey, orangey, yellowy, greeny, aqua, whatever you want to call that combination. But this time it looks like he's gone for an M12. It's not that surprising. He's skated M12s in the past. If the promo's been filmed and edited by Marco Valera, it's probably going to be pretty good because he is very handy with a camera. We've seen that with Portugalia and Mizica. So any new Yuto Goto footage, I am very excited. Yuto Goto in New York City? Hell yes. And unless you've been living under a rock recently, you will no doubt have heard about the Sean Darst drama where he called out Chris Farmer for doing ABDs, already been dones. The main one he had a contention with was the roof gap to bank that he did in the Them introduction promo, and Chris Farmer then repeated it recently for an Intuition Skate Shop edit. But interestingly enough, Sean Darst actually has an ABD of his own. If you go back to his Pro Skate promo, he does a launch to Royale on this fence, and he does quite a short one and then does a hill bomb. But a few years before that, Chris Haffey had already done that exact same spot. In fact, in Fade Nation, he does a back Royale on it, a significantly longer, and some might argue better, back Royale. So it's kind of an interesting thing for Sean to call out Chris Farmer when he has some of his own. This is quite interesting because Sean Darst doesn't ever post anything personal on social media. The only thing he ever puts on there is skate clips. He doesn't really give interviews. In fact, I think the last interview he did was with me for Wheel Scene years and years ago. He's never been on a podcast. So it is quite surprising for him to kind of go out there and call out another pro, especially when they're both based in California and could run into each other. I mean, imagine how awkward that is if Chris Farmer and Sean Darst bump into each other at a skate spot. Yes, Chris Farmer is guilty of having a couple of ABDs in his latest section, but it didn't seem like it was a really serious section. It seemed like something he'd just filmed in a few sessions for his shop sponsor. But Sean Darst had one in his Pro Skate promo, which I would argue is a much more big deal. Those in glass houses, Sean. Those in glass houses. Also, ABDs, aka already been done tricks, are fairly commonplace in rollerblading, have been happening for years and will probably continue to happen. In fact, Chris Haffey even has his own ABD. If you go back to his Killer Boots section, which was released in 2005, I think it was, he has a grabbed fast slide down a really famous square rail in California. But the year before, the Mind Game video Bang came out, and Aaron Feinberg already had a fast slide on the exact same rail. Yes, you could say Haffey leveled up, he grabbed it, but the fact is, it's still a fast slide on the same rail in a major video part. Moving on to competitions now, you will probably have heard about the MetroCard Classic that took place in New York, along with a video premiere for Brain God, which I'm very interested to see, especially with the cast that's in it. There was also a return of the NYC Street Invite, which had some interesting obstacles. It had like grind boxes and that kind of stuff that you would expect to see in a skate competition, but it also had a car, and all your favorite pros sessioned the absolute shit out of it, and Olderbladen was there to capture it. Once again, excellent quality filming and editing. He makes some of the best competition edits out there, along with JP Premiano from Butter TV, and you get to see some great clips from Mikhail Witzemann, who had a bit of trouble keeping his hat on his head. Yandriel Silverio also put in a hell of a performance. How can you not love that guy? There was also great skating from Alex Brosco, Julian Ba, Soichiro Kaneshima, Danny Beer, Sean Darst. So many skaters. Go and check out the video. It's online now and it is fantastic. I also like how at the end they absolutely trashed the car. It reminds me of the end of Fast Shoes where everyone's at, I think it's like an S competition or NIS, can't remember. It was like one of those major events in the 90s and everyone's just trashing the hell out of the car, and them doing that is such a throwback and so nostalgic. And I just love that it didn't follow the format of a standard competition. You know, there weren't like overall winners, it was like winners of each spot or each kind of discipline, which I thought was quite cool. And I would like to see more events like that, also like the Copenhagen Row one, where it's like you don't really win the entire thing, you just win part of it. And I feel like that's kind of more inclusive and makes it more fun and less this kind of like pissing contest between the best skaters in the world. Also at the New York City Invite, we got to see 2 new skates from USD. Now, a bunch of people said that USD leaked these skates. Leak, by its definition, means it's brought out on accident. It's been accidentally leaked. This was not leaked. This was just a company showcasing their forthcoming products. First of all, we had the new Sam Crofts Aeon, which comes in this kind of like light cream color. Sam previously showed this on the episode of Platform that I did with him. He showed like another version of it, like one that didn't come out as he wanted, so he didn't go with it. He says this is finally like the color that he's happy with, and it is so pretty that it almost makes me want to skate Aeons again. Almost. Another skate that was showcased was the new Mikhail Witzemann Pro skate, the new Sway. He was skating it in the competition and they showed it at the booth and it looks really nice. It's got a cream, like kind of like brownie orange sole plate and like accents in the liner. It's got the new format of the Sway, which apparently has got a better kind of plastic and design, so the cuff doesn't flex as much. It doesn't come with a 45-degree strap, and it just looks really clean, really nice. There's been quite a few Sway releases so far this year and ones that are coming out. We had the Carlos Bernal one, which is so ugly, only a mother could love it. I'm sorry, Carlos. I know us bald guys have to stick together, but that's just all kind of techno, Ghostbusters, Slimer horribleness that I can't deal with. Then we had the USD Team Sway, which is grey and black, but I didn't really like the white bits. If you could swap out the white bits for the new buckle in black, that would be amazing. There's the Chris Farmer that Inertia Skate Shop leaked, which is all white. It's probably one of my favourite looking ones. And then the Mikhail Witzemann one. So I'm torn here. There's if I was going to make a new Sway purchase, it would either be the Farmer in white or the Mikhail Witzemann. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the final ones look in real life. But yeah, USD are doing a really good job with the Sway range at the moment. In video news, Joe Atkinson's got a new one. I think this has got to be like his 4th or 5th of the year. He had the one in San Francisco with Ivan Nares. He had Funky Bowtown Time with John Lee. He had his Edo Goods promo for his clothing range with a German brand. And now he's got one with Bacement in FDR, which is one of the most iconic DIY skate parks of all time, based in Philadelphia. And Joe, just him skating around that is mesmerizing. The way Joe can just dominate and manipulate transitions is just, to see it in real life is unreal. Even watching it in videos, you are just blown away. I absolutely loved his invert variations that he did on both hands. I also think it's great that it's got a thread the needle in there, because Colin Kelso helped film this promo. So for Joe to do one and Colin be behind the camera, I think is brilliant. He also does an excellent fly fish spin, which when executed properly is one of my favorite grabs, and not enough people do them. And this fakie line at the end just shows so much control, so much understanding of the environment, the transitions that he's navigating. And it really reminds me of Bruno Louvi in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where he used to do entire competition runs fakie. And is it a throwback to that? I don't know, but either way, wildly impressive to watch. The video was mainly filmed by Sean Kelso. There was additional filming by Colin Kelso. It's out now on the Bacement YouTube channel. Watch it. I have many times, and probably I'm going to watch it many times more. In other event news close to home, Capital Rose had a jam at Bay 66 Skate Park. I went to the one last year. It was unbelievably good. So many big names showed up. It was such a great competition. I didn't get to go this year, and I'm absolutely kicking myself because it looked like the lineup was once again unbelievable. Congratulations to Bobby Spazov, who took first place. Congratulations to Julian Kudo, who took second, and Dan Robinson, who took third. It looked like a brilliant event, and if you haven't been, make sure you go next year. In other video news, I swear to God, Mesmer are spoiling the crap out of us with video content. Recently, we just had the new Marc Moreno street section, which Marc is one of my favorite European rollerbladers of all time. He has been putting out video parts for decades, since the 90s, and he has still got a ton of surprises up his sleeve. I love this trousseau round the curve. I just love watching him skate. He's got such a kind of distinctive style, very much his own. How can you not love watching Marc Moreno skate? He has also got an exceptional eye for a spot, and despite the fact that Barcelona has got an unlimited amount of spots to go through, he somehow always manages to find the most interesting ones, the best ones, and just completely makes them his own. Well, if the Marc Moreno section wasn't enough, we've got another new one from Levi van Rijn. Levi has been absolutely killing it recently, and this section just goes to further strengthen the fact that he is one of the most exciting European skaters to watch at the moment. He has so many good tricks in this. Some may argue too many good tricks. It's not possible to have too many good tricks. But this alley-oop fish brain to full cab alley-oop toe roll down the bank, I watched that so many times. I even slowed down the footage to see if his heel touched. It didn't, and it is just brilliant. I was also really shocked by this 1 foot roll along the gutter to far side sole to alley-oop wall ride full cab out. That is an absolute mouthful. I would never look at a spot like that and think there's a trick there. Most people would not look at a spot like that and think there's a trick there. Levi does, and he executed the crap out of it. Could he be next in line for a pro skate from Mesmer? I have got no idea. Hopefully, but the white ones look really good. They are really tempting me back to trying Mesmers again, especially now that I've heard that the toe area has been kind of like widened a little bit or made more space, because that was the main part that was causing me issues. I may end up buying Mesmers again. And last but not least, Jumbo's back. That's right, they're going to be giving us new sections, they're going to be giving us in the streets once again, probably more trick tips and DIY things, but they've kicked things off with a Caleb Benevides section, who was recently in the UK, weirdly enough, and this guy falls even more than I do.
I eat a lot of shit.
But he also skates the burliest, ugliest, nastiest spots and absolutely kills them. So all I can do is respect the guy. It's out now on the Jumbo YouTube channel. It is very entertaining. You also get an insight into the guy himself. He does like a kind of brief interview where he talks about his thought process on his approach to skating. It is very entertaining. I strongly recommend checking it out. That's it for the news. Let me know what you think about any of the stories I featured in here. As always, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. They are listed on the screen now. Supporting this channel, it means the world to me, so thank you guys very much. It allows me to get new equipment and make the videos better and better. If you watch the original videos from like a year or 2 years ago, they're all like grey and dull and nasty, and I like to think that they look better, and that is because of the support of the Patreon that allows me to get new lights, slightly better cameras, a microphone. So yeah, thanks very much guys, and speak to you soon.